Welcome to another exciting edition of Kids and Mom. How are you doing today? How are your kids? How's the family? I know that you're well. My name is Yele, and this is the #1 parenting show on your TV station. Today we're going to have an amazing interview with someone who's going to talk to us about investments and savings for your children and how to teach your children to have the learning culture. Of course, we have the career talk and the kids corner. So don't go anywhere, do not touch that dial, and we will be right back on Kids and Mom. Welcome back. Right now, we will be talking to a gentleman who is here to talk to us about savings and investments for your children and how to teach your children to have a savings culture as well. So could you just introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Bola Waino. I'm an investment banker, and what I do is I manage investment for people, institutions, individuals. So over the course of my career, I've managed for several institutions, insurance companies, PFAs, different kinds of institutions. So what we do is that we advise them on what to invest, and over time try to generate higher returns for them. So I have a passion to help people grow money, to create money, and to manage money.
What your perception is on the saving culture for children and in children at the same time?
Okay, I think in Nigeria we have a poor savings culture. So parents don't save, and of course if you don't save, you can't pass it down to your kids. Saving is very important. For instance, Nigeria, we have a lot of issues at the moment, and it can be related down to the fact that Nigeria didn't save. We had high oil price, and during those periods, instead of Nigerians to have saved, they didn't save, but now oil prices are low. So if you are saved for the rainy day, we won't have been in this problem that we find ourselves.
What would you define as savings to a 4-year-old?
Okay, I think saving is very important. So for instance, when you give birth to a child, you do your naming ceremony. Friends give money, relatives give money. I think from that instance, you can open an account for the child, and that account starts to grow over time. There's several kinds of savings you can do for a child. You can put that money in a savings account and use income. And there's what is called mutual fund as well. Mutual fund is pretty much new in Nigeria, but it's something that is very prevalent also in Nigeria. So what it means is that several investors are coming together, and the fund manager invests that money for them over time. One very common one is money market fund. And the beauty of that is that you can save and invest. Savings is different from investment. Saving, you're just keeping money aside for a period of time. Investment, you want to grow the money. And with investment, there are risks. But with money market fund, you are saving and investing. So you are achieving a twin objective, so to say. You can also do like a child trust fund. So there's education trust fund that is set money aside for the child. Maybe he wants to go to Harvard, for instance. You can start putting a certain amount of money every month, every quarter, every year. And just for the institution the child wants to attend when he grows up. So many kinds of savings that the child you can do on behalf of the child. But I think as parents, it's important to start to teach that child that savings culture. You don't have to wait till the child is 12 years old. You can imbibe that culture into the child.
Okay, you're married, and I know that you have an amazingly cute baby girl. So for your daughter, for example, does she earn money?
Well, she earns money through investments. What we do was that we open like a money market fund for her.
Okay.
And for the money market fund, what they do is that they pay interest quarterly.
Okay.
So that money is growing by itself.
Okay, so she gets money from the money that you from the investment. So what does she do with it? Do you give it to her like a spending money, or do you put it back in investments for her?
No, it's put back in investment. She's still a minor at the moment, so she can't make decisions for herself.
Okay.
So even the investment, we are the ones that make decisions for her.
Okay.
She can't sign, she doesn't understand. Okay. But of course, she's going to enjoy the benefits later on in the years to come.
Okay. Now, I know in the African culture where when children go to parties and when they, go to see their grandparents or someone comes to the house to visit them, they are exchange of monetary given to the child. Now, as a parent, I want to ask you, what kind of savings teaching are you passing down to your child when they give her monetary gifts? What do you just take it from her and like give me that money, or do you like teach her that we're going to put this money aside for you?
Well, for a child, of course, it's my own, you want to keep it and all that. But so you more or less casual, make her happy, probably give her something else in exchange for the money. Yeah. But inevitably, you're going to save the money for that child.
Savings culture in children is very, very important. When you start early, before you know it, this kobo that they give them, you take your child out, people, uncles, aunties, friends, that's your children money. Make it a culture. They could have a piggy bank in the house. They could have wine bottle. There's this wine, any wine bottle, empty it. Let your child drop, even if it's 50 naira per day, or any amount. And before you know it, in a month, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, before you know it, it's 5,000, it's 10,000. So the earlier they start saving, it's not every money you give your children that they should spend. From infancy, the day the child is born, you know that naming ceremony money that they give us, the naming money, that money they give the mother. I encourage mothers to use that money to open an account in the name of that child.
It's very, very important to teach them how to save money so that they will not be spending money anyhow. You have to teach them how to spend money so that they will not spend money carelessly.
The act of savings is good. When you imbibe that culture in them from childhood, by the time they grow up, they won't depart from it. So by the time they grow up, they would be financially independent with the little savings they make.
Drop your comments and questions on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Now, for parents that don't have children yet, maybe a single person, can they set up a savings for a future child?
You can set it up, it can still be in your name, for instance. So when the child comes, you can open the account in the child's name. So there's nothing stopping you from opening an account for any purpose. For instance, when we're going to get married, we had an account that we're saving towards the marriage, towards getting a house, towards getting things in the house. So you're just setting aside money for a particular goal in the future. So nothing stops you for opening an account for your unborn child, for a future project.
So what are the disadvantages and of the obvious advantages of having a savings culture and a plan for your child?
Okay, the obvious one, when you save for the rainy day. So there are things that you don't know might happen in the future, if they're good or bad. So if it's bad, of course, you have like a war chest to be able to absorb that shock. There are projects that come up. So you might see a land opportunity, but you can only take advantage of that opportunity if you have savings. You can save to go to school, probably even trying to go for a master's, for instance. So you need to build up enough savings to go to school. Also, what saving does for you is you can also earn interest on your savings. This environment things have been pretty difficult. High inflation, we've seen the high cost of fuel and all that. So with savings comes growth as well. So you can be able to absorb shock for some of the things that seemingly don't look too pretty at the moment. Disadvantage, well, if you are saving, also means I can't enjoy what you should have enjoyed. So let's say I wanted to buy a car, for instance, but I decided to save that money. So I won't be driving that car. So I have to go through that pain of not having a car for the moment. But I think the advantages pretty much outweighs disadvantage. And I think another thing saving does for it helps you build a habit of discipline. And I think in Nigeria, we don't have that discipline habit. We don't have that investors or in financial education. So saving does all that for you.
Okay, so what word of advice do you have for parents and for children alike? You know, we have children of different ages. There are children that are getting into their preteens, for example, and they seem to understand the value of monetary exchange. So for the parents, what kind of savings advice would you give to them? And for the children, what kind of advice would you give to them as well?
Okay, for the parents, I think it's never too early to start. So from when you've conceived the baby, you're about to have a child, I think you can start saving for that child. Like I said, when you do your naming ceremony, you get a lot of gifts, cash gift, for instance, open an account for the child. It might be a trust fund, it might be a mutual fund. And I think you also need to teach your children the value of money. Don't just give them money anytime they request for it. Let them know that you get money when you exchange value. So sometimes I just tell your child, do this for me. And when the child does it, you can give the person like a monetary return for that. So investor education, financial education is very important for that child. And I think you can start teaching that child at an early age. 2 years old, 3 years old, you can look for scriptures in the Bible. Just let that child understand the value of money at a tender age.
Thank you so much. Today has been extremely informative, and I'm sure our parents have learned a lot today. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back on Kids and Mom.
I'm Mrs. Oluwakemi Durojaye. It's very, very essential. After the naming ceremony, all the gifts that came in form of cash I made sure I didn't spend it. I saved it for them in the bank. I opened a bank account for them. Then I also insured them with different insurance companies to make sure that their education aspect is also secured.
At times, you as a parent, you might not even have at home to get something. They will be the ones to borrow you, learn you that, mommy, I think I have. And again, it will help them when they grow up. Because especially for the ladies, when they are in school, it will really help them. They will know how to manage, how to save.
Right now, it's the Career Corner, and I have here a very beautiful young lady who is going to talk to us about where she is right now and what she wants to be in future. Hello, darling. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, could you just introduce yourself to us?
My name is Adeiga Musumulua. I'm 10 years old, and the name of my school is Majestic Global School.
What class are you right now?
Primary 5.
You're in primary 5. That is beautiful. Do you have any idea what you want to be when you grow up?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to tell me?
I like to be a writer of stories, novels, journals, and books.
That is so beautiful. Have you written anything? Do you have any article that you've written so far? No. Do you like to read?
Yes.
You do. Okay, so to become a writer, do you know what you need to do?
Some of them.
Do you want to tell us? Okay.
English,
English,
literature,
literature,
adventures,
adventures,
exciting things.
exciting things. Now, I love this girl because she actually has everything all mapped out. You definitely need to have your English, you need to have knowledge about your literature. For you to be a writer, you need to have adventures. And for you to be a good writer and an excellent one, you need to have exciting things that you can write about. So, when you told your mommy and daddy that you wanted to become a writer, what did they say?
I haven't told them.
You haven't. So this is the first time they're going to hear you say that you want to be a writer. I like this girl. I like her a lot. Now, what other things do you do apart from studying?
I make stuff,
Like what?
beads.
That's nice. Who taught you how to make beads?
My mom.
Your mommy. Oh. So show me, do you have anything on you that you made yourself?
With a little assistance.
With a little assistance. Can I show this up? This is beautiful. Oh, do you promise to make me one? Okay, so parents, it is not enough for your children to just go to school and learn. It is good for them to have crafts that they can use and be of benefit to you as a parent and to their friends as well. Oh, Simi, I cannot wait to read your first book and I cannot wait to see more beats that you make, okay? Thank you so much for coming to the show. Did you know that as humans have fingerprints that can be used to identify them, dogs have prints with their noses that are unique, and this is used to identify the different classes of dogs that we have in the world. Did you know that Nigeria is home to 7% of the total languages spoken on earth? Taraba State alone has more languages than 30 African countries put together. Did you know that infants blink only once or twice a minute, while adults average a blink around 10 per minute? Did you know that the highest point in Nigeria is the mountain Chapal Wadi, and it is heightened at 2,419 meters, which estimates about 7,936 feet. Welcome back to the show. Right now, this is where I give you tips and tricks that you need to hold on to till the next time we are together. Today, I want to talk about car seat safety. It is extremely important for you to make sure that your child is securely seated and fastened in the seat in your car. It is also important for the health of the child and for your peace of mind to have your child buckled in their seats appropriately during travel, visits to the park, any trip that you're taking in the car. You need to have your child's seat securely fastened. So I'm just going to give you a few things that you need to do. Number one, do not place your child, like a baby for example, in the front seat with you. That is extremely dangerous. I see some mothers who actually turn the car seats and make the baby face them and they are driving. That is so dangerous. You need to put your child in the rear of your car. In the back seat, rear view mirror will be able to see the child, and then you need to clock the car seat securely. In the cars that they make right now, we have fast seat belts that are allocated that you can actually use to secure, a car seat. For children who are too big, please make sure that you start teaching them from when they can walk, that when they get into the car, they need to sit down and fasten their seat belts. It is important for you not to allow your children to be jumping in the car or moving all around in the car while you are driving. Another thing you need to do is make sure that the car seat that you're getting for your child is a good one. It's a strong one and is one that can actually carry the weight of the child and help the child to sit comfortably in your car. Also, do not forget that while you're driving, you cannot reach your hand to the back, touch, grab, pull your child. You can lose concentration while you're driving and then you may have an accident. All of these tips and tricks that I'm telling you today are good because we have seen cases of parents get into accidents because they are trying to speak to their child by touching them while they're driving and they have an accident. Take care of your children, take care of their safety. Be very careful and cautious when you're taking them out. So with these tips and tricks, I hope you know now how important it is for you and your child to have a good time riding and a safe time riding as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's Kids and Mum. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do not forget that Kids and Mum, we are the #1 parenting show and our aim is to raise future heroes. So till I see you, same place, same time, same station. Have a good day.